The Dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.
And welcome to The Dogs. It's Greyhound Racing's magazine programme. We're here at Hall Green for the Sky Bet GYMCRACK Puppy Championship. It's worth £10,000 for the winner, no less, with the action from the final plus the supporting card coming up later in the programme.
Also on this week's show, we get up close and personal with open racer PENN LACEY's new pups. We review the big weekend finals from Peterborough and Oxford, and talk to owner's representative of the BGRB, Stuart Lockhart. Hall Green last week, and the focus was on the pups with the Sky Bet GYMCRACK final worth £10,000 to the winner. That race in a moment. We begin with the Puppy Supporting Open, where Mountjoy Gold and Blonde Jake, two greyhounds who were knocked out of the GYMCRACK in the semi-final stage, they were both vying for favouritism. Away they go, racing up towards the first bend then, and there's a little bit of bumping between 3 and 4, Blonde Jake and Centurion Russ, and it's 2 that's going to lead here, Mountjoy Gold. Mountjoy Gold goes round in front then, some 4 lengths clear from 3, Blonde Jake. 6 was slightly crowded. Abigail Jess off the second bend, it's dropped back into third. As they come down towards the second arse bend, Mountjoy Gold with his 2.5 length lead, then over 3 in second. Blonde Jake, half these, a length and a half back to 6. Abigail Jess, they come up the home straight, and it's Mountjoy Gold by 2 lengths. Mountjoy Gold wins, back in second, Blonde Jake, and in third there was Abigail Jess. Trained by Mark Wallace, Mountjoy Gold, a November 2006 pup, was given a solo and recorded a reasonable 28.56. 13-8 favourite for the Sky Bet GYMCRACK final was Baherna Best in trap 5 for Barry Draper. Baherna Best was the quickest in the semis. Second favourite at 7-4 was Blonde Fern, runner-up in the Stones Silver Collar Puppy final at Sheffield, and winner of the Yorkshire Oaks against all-aged opposition at the same venue. Charlie Lister had the next in the betting, Motto Star, who, like Baherna Best, had a 100% record in the competition. It was then 5-1 bar. And away we go, racing up towards the first bend. Fast start, Mothball through the centre. That's a bit of a shock. After these comes 2, Motto Star rushing up around the outside, Baherna Best. Then comes Blonde Fern. Oh, Blonde Fern's been knocked over. Terrible trouble from Mothball. Also 5 badly hampered, Baherna Best. And at the moment it's trap 2, Motto Star, who had the luck at the first bend, goes round with a 2.5 length lead from 4. Goldcrest King in second. So come round the final bend, and trap 2, Motto Star for Charlie Lister. It's going to win here by 3 lengths. Motto Star wins the GYMCRACK, sponsored by Sky Bet. Second place, trap 4, Goldcrest King just ahead of Eye on the Brave. Well, Mothball in 3 surprised everyone by leading out of the traps, and by moving middle on the run-up, he gave acres of space to the eventual winner, Motto Star. To really know the value of the race, we needed Baherna Best and Blonde Fern to get round that first bend, something they weren't allowed to do. Motto Star, recording 28.48, will no doubt be skillfully placed by his astute handler, Charlie Lister.
PENN LACEY is a former open race star of trainer Russell Sampson and owner Stuart Lockhart. Lockhart is the owner's representative on the board of the BGRB, and PENN LACEY the best bitch he's owned. So once the racing days were over, the intention was always to send her off to the breeding paddocks. A stakes winner at Coventry and 27.70 bitch at Wimbledon, Russell and Stuart always had high hopes for the greyhound they call Bambi, making it as a brood. Russell takes up the story.
I took her to Ireland myself. I left her with Michael, Sean Dunphy, for it was about 8-9 days, which was a bit heartbreaking for me because she's indoors as a pet now, and I did drive Michael a little bit mad with 2 or 3 phone calls a day asking how she was. But she settles anywhere, she's good. So we left here about 7 o'clock on a Tuesday morning, arrived at the Dunphys about 9 o'clock in the evening. Dropped her off, spent the night in the travel lodge, and come straight home the next day.
So armed with his very own PENN LACEY cam, Russell returned to the Dunphys to be introduced to Bambi's newfound mate Droopy Scolari, and the bitch herself, who's clearly delighted to see him.
Yeah, hello.
She knows you anyway.
She knows us.
Then it was back to the hotel before the next morning's ferry. And Bambi proved an excellent traveller, unlike a rather anxious, shall we say, father-to-be Russell. And then home, where the now pregnant Bambi was filmed here some way down the line to motherhood.
Tell us about gestation periods. How long does it take for your new puppies to come out?
63, 64 days it says in the book, and that's what it was. It's amazing. Yeah, spot on. Started 7 o'clock, I believe, on a Monday evening. She finished off, it was around about 5 o'clock in the morning. And all went well, very well.
And here's a dog's first, pup number 1.
Here we go.
Your first experience of breeding?
Yeah. Oh, petrified. Absolute stroke of luck that Owen McKenna's Derby dogs were staying with us at the time, and Paul Davis was here. And if he hadn't have been here, I don't know what would have happened. He just saw us through it all. And a big thanks goes to him. Yeah.
PENN LACEY had 8 pups, 4 black and 4 blue, 7 dogs and 1 bitch. All were born healthy and were soon latching on to mother. And for owner LOCKE, a timely tonic in the face of some tough recent times.
Stuart, before we talk about greyhounds, first of all about yourself. You've been ill recently. How are you getting on?
Yeah, I'm recovering well. As you know, I mean, I had primary cancer of the liver. I've gone my treatments of chemo and radiotherapy, which I've now finished. I go to see the doctor back in a week's time, and we then obviously go back for another scan when he's ready. He said a few weeks, and take it from there. But yeah, I'm feeling fine. A lot better than I did a few months ago.
Well, that's good. And as you were saying to me earlier, that positive thoughts and things to look forward to are a help, and obviously knowing the pups are on the way must have helped.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I mean, that's something. I think with anybody with this illness, if you can think forward and have some goal, and the pups are a great goal, because it's not today, it's not tomorrow. It's let's see them get to the track, let's see them win something. I mean, so you're talking 2 years more down the line, and that's something to live for, and I will.
Filmed here at roughly 6 weeks old, mother and pups are clearly doing well. Sire Droopy's Scolari is related to those top trackers, Droopy's Maldini and Marco, and was an easy choice for Stuart.
Scolari was a dog that had very few races, but was, in the opinion of his owners, probably as good, if not better, than Maldini, and unfortunately broke his leg, as you know, in the produce stakes over in Ireland. So we decided to go with him purely because he had no Australian breeding inside him. PENN LACEY has Top Honcho as a sire, and I wanted to steer away from the Australian breeding because certain Australian breedings over the last few years have not, in my opinion, produced dogs that, should we say, used to go through brick walls. In the old days of the Manorville Majors and everything else, they were dogs that really went for it. And they become a bit soft. So trying to go back into the Irish strain of breeding, we felt that this was obviously the right sort of sire for PENN LACEY to go to. So that was the reason we had to send her over to Ireland. Well, in fact, Russell took her over to Ireland to be mated, and the pups are there for everybody to see.
Any evidence? 8 very strong pups?
8 very strong pups, but 7 dogs and 1 bitch. I usually have 7 bitches and 1 dog, so I mean, that was really a good plus.
So Russell, little fellas now, very cute, just running around the pen and the garden here. But of course they get bigger, don't they?
They get bigger. Unfortunately, they get bigger, yeah. It'd be lovely if they stayed like this. People come round and see them. I want one. But you've got to explain. They grow full size, and they're not quite as fun as they are when they're like this.
And they've got a job to do.
They've got a job to do. At the end of the day, yeah, they'd be sent to Ireland around about second week in September to carry on, be reared and schooled, and see how they turn out.
So why Ireland? Why didn't you choose some of the top breeders here in England?
I could have done. I haven't even really thought about that. There are a few that I would go to. I feel that Ireland has more of the freedom, more of the hard rearing, if you like, ones that really have to make it over there. It's a case of sending them out in these fields and they run for miles, and hopefully they'll come back as really strong, hard, well-bred dogs. You can't be soft in breeding.
As a trainer, Russell Samson's biggest success was winning the Yarmouth Derby with Casey's Shadow, but he hung up his lead last year when PENN LACEY suffered a career-ending injury at Coventry and felt he wanted a change.
Yeah, I just wasn't enjoying it as I was. When the injury happened to PENN LACEY at Coventry, it was a bad experience. I love looking after them, and obviously we've got Bambi here, we've got Joe, brother Joe, still here as a pet, and the puppies. I love being here with them. I just didn't want to go racing anymore.
Russell, you said you were disillusioned with the game, the rules and regulations. Here you go, this is your platform. Tell us in no more than a minute what you'd change about the game. There's new regulators coming into the sport. Surely they should be listening to opinions of people like yourself.
Maybe not me. I'm just an owner trainer who has a couple of dogs in the back garden, but there's other people they should be listed to. I think they get kennelled for too long, much too long. I don't really want to go into it and start saying things, but there's other people more experienced than me.
So Russell might not be putting a lead on these pups, but someone will, and that someone might be in Ireland as well as here in Britain.
I mean, I do race dogs myself in Ireland at the moment. I mean, I've got 3 dogs there at the moment that run, and the prize money, if you like, almost pays the kennel bill. Something that happened in this country many years ago. So the answer is, if I still owned 4 dogs, for instance, I might well keep an odd 1 or 2 in Ireland to race, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Coming up after the break, more from Stuart and our open race review.
Welcome back to part 2 of the dogs and to the Hertfordshire base of former trainer turned breeder Russell Samson. Russell's leading owner, Stuart Lockhart, the BGRB's owner's rep, was 6 months ago taking in the implications of the revolutionary DONOUGHUE report. The transition to the formation of the new Greyhound Board of Great Britain is in progress. We asked Stuart, how's it all going?
From what I read in the minutes, of which I received from the transitional committees after their meetings, I think it's going very well indeed. The first thing that they have to do is to appoint an independent chairman and a CEO, of which, as I understand, by the end of the month, those 2 appointments should be filled. The other things they've got to do is obviously behind the scenes legal and MEMS and arts and all the rest of the bits that tie up to making a new company. So there's a lot to do, and there's also budgets to set and lots of different items that have to become into a new company, new premises. I mean, we've got to have a new premises because the idea eventually is to amalgamate 3 organisations, the board, the NGRC and the fund, together. Whether the fund will stay out of it for a time we will see. But so new premises have to be found. These things aren't done overnight. The idea is to complete and have the new company up and running by the 1st of January, and we'll see. But time's moving on, and I just hope it's not done too quickly.
Some people accuse the authorities are fiddling while Rome burns. Whilst you're tweaking around with authorities and legislations or whatever, there are tracks like Walthamstow closing.
Yeah, that was a big, horrific step, that wasn't it? But tracks land are worth more than they're getting out of it, and that's a terrible thing to say. But if you took a lot of tracks and what the land was valued, I mean, not so much as we speak of today, but if the Chandlers were receiving 30+ million, they was being muted around, nobody else to run the track, they didn't, there's no up and coming part of the family, a lot of directors that wanted to retire. What do you do with your own business? If your own business you want to retire, you have to sell it, don't you? And if the highest bid is for property, unfortunately, that's the way of the game today. But great shame, great shame. #1 track in the whole country. let's hope it doesn't happen to any other tracks.
Well, the chances are it will. And if tracks are under threat in future, some people say that the authority should step in and buy them themselves. Is that a practical solution?
Well, as you know, the money comes from the fund. 11 or 12 million pounds is there available for this year. Whereas people say it's our money, the bookmakers put in the money. So somebody might say that, well, the bookmakers are buying a track. It's an idea that I and a couple of my colleagues have thought would be very feasible. That all that money going in to buy one track, I think would be a great idea, but I just don't think it's practical as far as where the money's coming from.
Which would be that one track, Stuart?
I think if somebody could buy Wimbledon privately, make it into a Shelbourne Park, which wouldn't be difficult, that would make money.
So Stuart, when your pups are 15 months old and ready to race, what do you think the state of greyhound racing will be then?
In 15 months' time, I hope it's better than it is today. I hope the new board will see to that. I hope prize money will be increased, because until prize money is increased, there's going to be a lack of owners and a lack of dogs coming to these tracks. If they can see their way to increase prize money, invest in stadiums, proper stadiums by rebuilds, then I think we've got a good future to look forward to. Whether it'll all happen within 15 months, I don't know. But these pups will be ready to run in 15 months, and there'll be some good tracks for them to run at.
There's a lot of hope there in your answer. Is there any real belief?
Yes, there is belief, yes. Yes, perhaps you may ask me that question in 6 months' time when the board's up and running and we've done budgets. But yeah, there is a belief. You have to believe in this game that it will get better. I mean, it's going through a difficult time, although certain tracks are finding, as I said earlier, that there's an increase in their punters over the door, and I think that if this continues and the customer gets what he wants, that is something worthy of what he's paying to go to, i.e. the restaurants and the bars, etc., and that the stadiums don't price themselves out of that, then I think there's going to be a good future for greyhound racing. My pups will have somewhere to run in 15 months, no problem with that.
Well, it's quite a positive answer, Stuart, but I have to say you are speaking from the point of the people going through the door as the ones that want to dine and use the bars, and maybe not from an owner's point of view.
Well, I think we need to encourage owners to come into the sport. We've lost a lot of owners over the last few years. The reasons for losing them: the tracks don't offer enough for owners. The prize money is not sufficient for owners. Owners are treated like Joe Public. This to me is a great shame, because owners supply the dog to race at that track. When that dog runs at the track, the owner will come and watch his dog run. He might bring his family with him. He might sit in the restaurant, might just sit in the bar. But he's there to spend money. Now, you would think that tracks would encourage that owner to come and look at their dog to run and get them in the stadium. It doesn't happen at very many stadiums, I'm afraid.
And Wimbledon's decision to cut prize money will be heavily felt by owners, as will the impending closure of the famous old Walthamstow Stadium. And in the next edition of The Dogs, we discuss the implications of that sad decision with leading industry figures.
1 mile outside of the historic centre of Peterborough lies the very successful family-run greyhound track. Whilst they don't have too many opens at the circuit, they do manage to get some of the big-name trainers visiting. Julie Bateson, whose kennels are based at Lancaster, which is a fair old trek to Peterborough, bought the puppy He's a Mystery, who was sent off favourite for this juvenile race. And away they go, and racing up towards the first bend. There's trouble on the inside. Walk Away Dream tried to move off. Great pace from Droopy's Marcus, who just gets clipped at the bend, and now moving through on the inside. He's a Mystery. He's a Mystery with a 2-length lead then over Droopy's Marcus in second. After these comes Walk Away Dream, and a break back to the others, headed by Rising Echoes. They come around the final bend then, and He's a Mystery with this length and a half lead here from Droopy's Marcus. He's a Mystery is going to win, and win with a couple lengths to spare. He's a Mystery, Droopy's Marcus, and back in third, Walk Away Dream. Winner there for Julie Bateson with He's a Mystery. Well, now on to the feature, the £5,000 Alpha Feed Seniors Derby Final. Plenty of familiar names here. Dual Select Stakes winner and Derby and Oaks finalist Cleaner's Lady was the 4-5 favourite. And running up towards the first bend, good start from Blonde Joey and also trap 4 Horseshoe Ping, but there's a bit of bumping there between this duo, and Horseshoe Ping now goes on. Horseshoe Ping with his 2-length lead over Blonde Joey, 3 lengths then back to Cleaner's Lady on the inside of 6 Noir's Ted as they come into the second last bend. Horseshoe Ping still leading, Blonde Joey a length behind. After these comes 1, Cleaner's Lady. Blonde Joey's getting inside Horseshoe Ping. Blonde Joey's hit the front here. It's Blonde Joey that's going to win. Fantastic win for Blonde Joey, beating Horseshoe Ping. Well, a marvellous win from a greyhound who's been a favourite of mine for some time. Blonde Joey winning for trainer John Mullins. On to Oxford for the Tech Shop UK Maiden Derby final. That race in a moment. There was an intriguing supporting open where Reading specialist Brickfield Class, who was trying to complete a 5-timer, was the 4-5 favourite. Next in the betting, Stormy 40 and Pall Mall finalist Positive Step. And there they go, racing up towards the first bend. Good start here, Stormy 40 on this near side. Going with it is Positive Step. Brickfield Class is trying to turn third, but just can't. Once taking it out, Sparta Donuts. So head down the far side, and Positive Step's got its head in front here. Slightly crowded at the first bend. Stormy 40 lost its way a little bit, a length behind. After these comes 3, Chill Out Loud. They come around the third bend, and 4, Positive Step seems to have all the answers here. Positive Step striding away. Positive Step's going to win for Maurice Massey, and wins well from Stormy 40 back in second. Positive Step, a real tough nut to crack on home territory. On to the feature, the Tech Shop UK Maiden Derby final. The 3 semi-final winners were in traps 1, 2 and 3. Bomber Blue for Paul Salas was the quickest in the semis. Declan's Lad, who recorded the quickest time in the first round, was 3-1. Oh, great start there from Lee Said So in 2. Leads up early from Arda Apple. After these comes 3. That's White Oak Iris as they go round the turn. A little bit of jostling at the back, but nothing's going to catch surely Lee Said So's already got a 3-length lead here over Arda Apple in second. Moving up nicely now is Drum the Heath to move up into second place at the third bend, but it's Lee Said So leading here by 2.5 lengths after that great start. Lee Said So has made all here at Oxford. Wins from Drum the Heath, and back in third, Bomber Blue. Well, not a young greyhound, but only a few lines of form for Lee Said So over in Ireland. Job done for trainer David Prues. A quick look at the calendar for the weekend, and there's opens planned at Romford and Sittingbourne on Friday night. Highlights on a busy Saturday are the Stan James Puppy Derby heats at Wimbledon and the final of the 2-year-old Produce Stakes at Swindon. Coventry are the only track with opens on Sunday night, whilst Crayford, Nottingham and Romford have the best of the action on Monday evening. For all the latest results and information on your local track, visit our website, thedogs.co.uk. Next Tuesday, we're down to the beach at Hove for the final of the Coral Sussex Cup. Always provides a good winner. Make sure you join us for all the action.
The Dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.